Hey guys! Today we are going to tell you ghost stories or paranormal. You do okay. So, our story journey begins with moving in to the second house we ever lived in. Or maybe it was third, but I don't remember. We were like 4 or 5. Well, not like 4 or 5. We were a little older, but we moved there when we were 4 or 5.
Right.
And so it all starts with one night. We were sitting down eating dinner, and it was just the two of us eating dinner at the table, and our mom was sitting on the couch, and like it was the kind of house that has like double doors between the living room and the dining room, so you could like see into the living room from the dining room.
So we're just sitting there all calm, eating dinner, and then all of a sudden, every window in the house was shaking. All you hear is banging on the windows. Every window in the house, especially in the front of the house. It was the creepiest thing I've ever experienced.
There was all this banging, and then all of a sudden my mom, she gets up and she's like, what is that? Like, she's like, what is that? And then she goes and opens the door, and the minute that she opens the door, all the shaking stops.
Dead silent.
Dead silent. It was almost like too silent, like a creepy, eerie kind of silent.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like opening the door, and she's like, who is that? Who is that? And she thinks it's like a bunch of teenagers like playing a trick on us or something. But then when she opened the door, there was nothing. There was no one out there. She got to the door so quick you couldn't have even run or like hid behind the house or anything.
Yeah.
She was like walking outside looking for who it was. There was nobody there. Nobody was running. You couldn't see anyone in the distance. Like, there was nobody there.
And that was encounter number 1.
Moving on to encounter number 2, where something that was extremely creepy happened. So, flash forward maybe like a few months, and so we're sitting there and we're watching TV with our mom, and then we hear the door open, but it's like one of those things where, like, you know, like you think, oh, well, my dad was out and he's coming home, and we just didn't pay that much attention to who was coming through the door. We hear the door open, somebody walks to the back of the house, someone's like, you know, fiddling with the hallway closet,
Right.
and then all of a sudden, 20 minutes later,
In walks our dad.
just like, oh, like he just came back from the store, just like messing in, like just walking through the door.
He's all like, hey guys, what's up? And we're all like,
Didn't you just come
here
through the door
20 minutes ago?
like, weren't you just here? And then he's like, no, I literally just pulled into the driveway. And we're like, huh. And then we just start
Interesting.
searching the house because we're like, oh, there's somebody in our house now that we have no idea who that was, but there was nobody in the house. We searched the entire house over. So we're just like, somebody opened the door, or something opened the door, and then we heard footsteps. And I say footsteps because that leads to our next encounter.
Yes.
Flash forward a few years later, and we're just sitting there, and me and my niece got in trouble for something, so we get called to the back of the house, where, like, you know, my parents' room was in the back of the house. And so I walk back there, and we're like arguing or something, and there was like, we were just talking, and then Ivana, who was asleep on the couch, she was asleep on the couch, and I hear footsteps in a shadow walking back towards us. Like, I see a shadow and I hear footsteps, but it's like one of those rooms where you can't really see if, like, they're walking on the other side of the room. And first of all, I've never even seen a shadow in that room. The lighting is just not built for shadow. So that was creepy in and of itself. But I didn't think anything of it. I just thought Ivana was awake, you know.
So they hear the they hear the shadow. So they start hearing these footsteps. Everyone in the house can hear these footsteps. Apparently they're very loud. I hear nothing. I'm asleep on the couch.
And we didn't think anything of it because we thought she had woken up and walked back to the room.
Yeah, so Yana comes through the family room. She's like, okay, Ivana is coming, and then she looks on the wall. She sees a shadow. She looks down at me, and apparently I'm just asleep. Like,
no, that's not the story.
I don't know, because I was asleep.
Say it.
So Yana sees the shadow. She doesn't think anything of it because I'm supposed to be awake and walking through the house or whatever.
Then, you know, we resolve the conflict or whatever, and then we come back to the living room where Ivana is still sleeping. So then I'm like, okay, somebody was walking through the house. And then I was just like, I bust into tears. And then we wake Ivana up and we're like, did you walk back here? And she's like, no. And then we look over and the front door is open. Like, the front door is laying wide open. That door was locked when we walked back there to their room. And Yvonne is like, what? And then she starts,
and then I start hyperventilating.
Starts crying, and then all of us start crying. And then, like, my dad's like, oh, there's nothing to be afraid of. And mind you, this is, like, the second time that something crazy has happened. Mm-hmm. And that leads us to encounter number 3.
The creepy cat. We didn't own a cat. We never saw any random cats running around our neighborhood. And so one day we come in, we're packing groceries. We're just putting groceries away in the house because we just came back from the grocery store. And all the doors, we had locked all the doors, all the windows were closed. We hadn't seen anything in the house, prior to that moment. And we were sitting there, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a black cat with green eyes, the creepiest looking cat I've ever seen, goes running through the house. All the way through the house, like back to my parents' room, all the way to the back of the house. And we're just sitting there, and we're like, what just happened? I jump on top of the counter because I'm like freaking out. And my older sister, she goes and walks to the back of the house. We all walk back there, and there's nothing. Just dead silence.
The cat literally disappeared. Like, we never saw that cat again, ever again. It was just ran through the house, and we're not even sure if this was a real cat. I mean, that sounds crazy, but, like, I've never seen a cat around our neighborhood, which is crazy. But
it was like in Coraline, that movie Coraline, where the creepy cat's, like, walking around. It was, like, in our house.
Yeah.
That's how creepy it was.
So, we never saw the cat again. It just disappeared, and I have no idea why or what that was. Like, that was like the house you weren't, like, you didn't want to stay alone in.
Right.
Like, seriously, you would, like, feel things, like, lurking around the walls. Like, you'd just be like, oh, God, I don't feel like I'm alone in these moments.
It was so creepy that I wouldn't stay home from school because I thought, like, even if I was sick, I'd be scared to stay by myself.
Yeah. And you guys, like, when we found out how the guy who used to own the house died, like, seriously, like, there is a reason that house is so creepy. It's, like, a very tragic, crazy, like, type of death. I don't want to, like, tell you guys because that's really disturbing. On to the next part of the story, which would be encounter number 4. It wasn't enough that we had a haunted house growing up.
You had to have a haunted high school, too.
And when I say haunted, I mean the most haunted high school you have ever seen. Like that movie, The Gallows, it's like the story of our high school.
It was so haunted that I'm pretty sure they caught a ghost on camera because they have pictures.
They have pictures of a ghost. But anyway, like, we always thought that was like a rumor. They even, like, made a little film about it in cinema studies our freshman year. And so we signed up for cinema studies because of that film the second year. Mm-hmm. And we were just like, oh, that's really fun. Like, we really enjoyed learning about cinema. And so for the first project we had to do, we had to create a trailer. And the name of the play was The Crucible, which is a play that most high schools put on. I had this really cool idea to, like, take pictures of everyone for my trailer so that I could, like, zoom in, like, crazy sort of freeze frame Hollywood style trailer. Yeah. So we stayed after school to watch a rehearsal. Mm-hmm. And after the rehearsal, we were, like, during the rehearsal, we were allowed to, like, take pictures of everyone and videotape certain scenes that we wanted to for the trailer. And so Ayana brings home the pictures, and, looking at them on the camera, initially we thought, wow, these are really great, I can't wait to use them, some of the scenes look really amazing on camera. Yeah, like, while we were doing it, we were having so much fun, we were like, this is so much fun, it's not creepy at all, they were lying about the theater. And so, but when we got home, and mind you, I just took these with my, like, HTC Evo, like, when those were prime phones. And so, like, I had an HTC Evo, I was so excited, and I took all my pictures with it, and they came out great. And then when I got home to look at them, the thumbnails looked fine, and when I clicked on them and I opened the picture, they were not the same pictures. Like, this picture was like a normal picture. It
was very distorted. Yeah. They were like, the screen was all jagged looking. It was so creepy.
Like, it looked like an old, like, VCR had, like, messed up my pictures. There was one picture that didn't really look that bad. It was just a picture of a girl that I had taken, and there was a hand in the background of the picture. Now, I know there was nobody in the background of that picture because I'm the one that, like, took the picture. And I made sure nobody was back there because that would look weird in a trailer. And so when we got it home, though, it was like a hand sticking out of this background in the video, and it was, like, waving, but, like, motion blur, like, waving. And I was like, okay. But then there was a few pictures that were really messed up like that with, like, hands in them that I didn't know. And
there was that one with the really weird face.
I heard rumors that there was a little girl that walked around the school crying all the time who was also a ghost.
That's the end of our paranormal creepy ghost story time. If you'd like to hear more paranormal creepy stories or any more story times at all, make sure to comment in the section down below what you'd like us to film.
Thank you so much for watching our video.
If you like this, please subscribe to us and let us know what you thought on social medias like Twitter,
Facebook,
Instagram, Pinterest,
Musical.ly.
We heart it. Yes.
So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week with an all new video.
And always remember, subscribe us maybe. Bye.
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 I still want it all. I see